The trade deadline has concluded. That was a relatively underwhelming deadline. I gotta be honest with you. Now it's not a surprise. We knew that this deadline was not going to be very fun, or the deadline day perhaps. This deadline has been very fun, but not the deadline day specifically. Mainly because like this past week, everybody's basically just gotten traded. Then, that's what happens when you put the deadline on a Friday. So yeah. We do have some trades to talk about, though. We also have some signings to talk about, so we'll start off with that first. The Red Wings have re-signed I almost said John Lennon. John Lethamone, not John Lennon, not the singer, to a 1-year, $750K contract. He's with the Toledo Walleye in the ECHL. He actually has a pretty solid goalie stats, so not too bad there. The Capitals re-signed forward Nicholas Abe-Kubel to a 1-year, $1.225 million contract. I actually thought the Capitals would trade him, but they obviously didn't, so pretty good move for them there. As well as that, too, the Predators re-signed Dante Fabro to a 1-year, $2.5 million contract. Another player that I thought would get moved. Thankfully, he didn't. I guess they wanted to keep that youth in Nashville, which I guess is the right thing to do. But then again, why'd you trade Tanner Jeannot? Anyways, then the Red Wings signed Alex Chiasson to a 1-year, $750K deal. Chiasson, all right defenseman. We'll see how that signing will pan out. Then the last signing was Kevin Lankinen re-signing to a 1-year, $2 million contract. Lankinen has actually been a really good goalie this season, so overall not that bad of a deal. Now, when we get to the trades, there isn't a lot of them. I didn't go like A tier, B tier, or C tier because honestly, a lot of these would be C tier if I was actually doing it like that. So I'm not going to do it like that. We're just going to read off the trades in order from what they happened. The first trade of the day came from the Red Wings and the Blues, as the Blues acquired forward Jacob Verano with 50% salary retained. In exchange, the Red Wings acquired a 2025 7th-round pick and forward Dylan McLaughlin. This is a pretty solid trade for the Blues here. They acquire a solid young forward in Jacob Verano. He's obviously had a pretty bad season. Definitely needed to change of scenery. So we'll see how Verano will pan out with the St. Louis Blues. They obviously have some youth. They obviously have some spots open there for some youth talent. As well as that, too, the Red Wings, they get him out of there. That's kind of what they wanted to do. McLaughlin, haven't heard much about him, to be honest with you. And then the 7th-round pick, I guess, is nice. The next trade comes between the Canucks and the Devils, as the Canucks were kind of active at this trade deadline a lot. The Devils acquired forward Curtis Lazar from the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for a 2024 fourth. Curtis Lazar will probably be a solid bottom 6 forward for the Devils there, and as for the Canucks to get a 4th-round pick, I will definitely have a video coming out about the Canucks very soon. There is a lot of controversy around them right now in regards to JT Miller-related stuff, the Filip Hronek trade. I just got to make another video on the Canucks. I feel like I've made so many already this season, but I need to make another one because they keep making news. Next up here is between the Los Angeles Kings and the Philadelphia Flyers, as the Kings acquired forward Zach McEwen from the Flyers. In exchange, the Flyers got forward Brendan Lemieux and a 2024 5th-round pick. I know this might look bad, comparatively speaking, but as a biased Flyers fan, just kidding, unbiased Flyers fan, this is a good deal for the Kings. They got a solid physicality forward, definitely a good grit player in the playoffs, 100%, in Zach McEwen. Brendan Lemieux bits someone. That's kind of all you need to know, Flyers fans. And then as well as that, too, they got a 5th-round pick. But Lemieux is expiring, so I doubt they'll qualify him, but if they do, I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't be shocked either. This next trade comes between the Winnipeg Jets and the San Jose Sharks, as the Jets acquired forward Vladislav Nemestikov, who has 50% salary retained. He was traded a couple days ago from Tampa to San Jose, but now he's in Winnipeg. And in exchange, the Sharks get a 2025 4th-round pick. Obviously, the Jets get some depth in Nemestikov, who has 50% retained, obviously. And as well as that, too, the Sharks, they get a 4th-round pick. Next deal, completely minor deal. Won't spend really any time on this. The LA Kings have acquired forward Nate Schnarr from the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for defenseman Frederick Allard. I feel like this trade happened last year. Honestly, I feel like the same trade happened last year. That's all I'm going to say. Next up here, we got the 3-team trade between the Sharks, the Penguins, and the Canadiens yet again, as the Penguins acquired forward Nick Bonino with 50% salary retained by the Canadiens. In exchange, the Habs acquired defenseman Tony Sund from Pittsburgh. And then the Canadiens also acquired a 2024 5th-round pick. from the San Jose Sharks. And in exchange, the Sharks acquired a 2024 fifth, a 2023 seventh, and Arvid Henriksen, who is from Montreal. So obviously the Sharks kind of win this deal, if I'm being honest. They get draft picks, definitely what they need. Montreal, they kind of contribute helping out retain salary. In addition, they got Sund and a 5th-round pick. And then the Penguins get back one of their old players in Nick Bonino, trying to rebuild that Cup team, I guess. Surprised they didn't get Fleury. But yeah, solid trade overall for all three teams, if we're being honest. This next one comes between the Buffalo Sabres and the Minnesota Wild. The Wild were very active in this deadline, must I say. They were probably one of the best teams, especially on deadline day. They actually had some pretty underrated moves. The Sabres acquired forward Jordan Greenway from the Wild in exchange for a 2023 second and a 2024 fifth. Obviously, the Wild acquire some draft picks, and Jordan Greenway gets a good change of scenery out of Minnesota. We'll see how he does on a young and fun-to-watch Buffalo team. I low-key hope he does good because I've kind of always liked him, in my opinion. This next one is a one-for-one deal. Won't waste much time on this either. This one between the Buffalo Sabres, and the Anaheim Ducks. I almost said it again. The Sabres acquired defenseman Austin Strand, and in exchange, the Ducks acquired defenseman Chase Prisky. So a one-for-one defensive deal here. These players will be no more than third pairs. This next one, another one-for-one deal between the Calgary Flames and the Toronto Maple Leafs, as the Flames acquired forward Dryden Hunt, and the Maple Leafs acquired forward Radim Zahorna. Flames got a solid depth forward. Same with the Leafs, honestly. Not really that big of a deal here. This next one is between the Sharks and the Stars, as the Stars acquired forward Scott Reedy, and in exchange, the Sharks acquired forward Jake Peterson. Not that bad of a deal. Kind of an unnecessary trade, though, for being honest, but overall, not too bad for both teams, I guess. This next one, yet again from the Minnesota Wild and the Detroit Red Wings. The Wild acquired forward Oscar Sundqvist in exchange for a 2023 4th-round pick. So you get Nyquist, you get Johansson, and now you get Sundqvist. So they got 3 forwards there. Additionally, they wanted to get a forward, and they're kind of just trying to build up their depth down below, which isn't really a bad thing to do. So overall, a good move there from the Wild. This next one is between the Ottawa Senators and the Philadelphia Flyers, as the Senators acquired forward Patrick Brown from the Flyers in exchange for a 2023 6th-round pick. Now, if I'm being honest, Brown's a really solid depth forward, pretty good center. He's good on the penalty kill. Pretty solid acquisition here for the Senators. And hey, I mean, the Flyers got a 6th-round pick for him, even though the Red Wings just said, nah, we don't want Van Riemsdyk, which really annoyed me. This next trade is between the Nashville Predators and the Buffalo Sabres, as the Predators acquired forward Rasmus Asplund, and in exchange, Buffalo acquired a 2025 7th-round pick. Not that big of a deal there. Nashville acquires pretty much a depth forward. This next one between the Kings and the Blackhawks, as the Blackhawks acquired forward Austin Wagner in exchange for future considerations. Blackhawks get Wagner. Yeah. This next one, we're kind of moving quick here, but there's like not a lot of trades, but there still is a lot of trades because like they're all like, so a lot of them are minor moves mostly. This next one between the Calgary Flames and the Arizona Coyotes, as the Flames acquired defenseman Troy Stecher and forward Nick Ritchie, and in exchange, the Coyotes acquired defenseman Connor Mackey and forward Brett Ritchie. So obviously there you see the brothers were traded for each other, and that's the first time in NHL history that's ever happened. So I thought that was pretty cool. Not sure why Calgary, since they're trying to get into the playoff race, they would want somebody like Nick Ritchie or Troy Stecher. They're not bad players by any means. As a Coyotes fan, I enjoy watching them, but yeah. This next one, we only got 4 remaining, but 2 of them are main big ones. This next one between the Wild and the Ducks is the Wild acquired defenseman John Klingberg from Anaheim in exchange for defenseman Andre Suster, forward Nikita Nesterenko, and a 2025 4th-round pick. Klingberg, he hasn't had the best stats in the NHL this season, of course, because when you look at the Ducks, they've been pretty bad. His stats have been in the toilet, so it's no surprise that he was given away for that much, or for that little, not that much. So yeah, pretty good move over there for the Minnesota Wild. They acquire a solid blue liner. They acquire 3 forwards. We'll see how this team does. I think they made some pretty solid acquisitions, to be honest with you. They may not be like huge, high quality forwards, but they're good depth players on a team like Minnesota. And then this other trade here between the Anaheim Ducks and the Pittsburgh Penguins, as the Penguins acquired defenseman Dmitry Kulikov with 50% salary retained, and in exchange, the Ducks acquired a 2024 third and forward Brock McGinn. Obviously, selling at the deadline, selling probably your 2 best defenders, if we're being honest. Now, Anaheim gonna suck. I'm surprised they didn't move Kevin Shattenkirk, though. I thought Shattenkirk was going to get moved, but he didn't. Kulikov, solid defender. We'll see how he does with the Penguins. Always been one of those good defensive defenders. That's kind of why he's been around so many teams in the NHL. As well as that, too, you get a 2024 third-round pick and forward Brock McGinn as well. So, not that bad of a deal, if we're being honest, for both teams either, really. And then these last two trades, the New York Rangers and the Colorado Avalanche. The Rangers acquired forward Anton Bleed from the Avalanche in exchange for Gustav Rydell. Kind of just a basic one-for-one depth move. I'm still surprised that Bleed's not on the Bruins anymore. And then the final trade for the trade deadline is between the Rangers and the Canucks, as the Rangers acquired defenseman Wyatt Kalynuk in exchange for future considerations. So, that does it for the trade deadline this season. Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. For all of your support, I really do appreciate it. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you for another great trade deadline. This is coming up to the time where we're going to see teams clinch the playoffs. The award videos are going to start coming out, and then pretty soon, playoffs are just around the corner. So we're getting there. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Adios.